And we're live. Good to see everybody today. I'm Doug here at Wood Spun Round. We're going to have a good time turning some wood today. Let me bring in my friends to introduce them to you. There's Ruby Claire, there's Wayne Clasper, and there is Todd Phipps. All these
Hello.
and I tell you what, I thought about it earlier today. I say that all the time. I bring in my friends, my only two, my only three, but everybody in the chat is one of my friends. So glad to have all of you here today. I'm going to put these guys in the background for just a minute and then, well, for an hour anyway. Let me share with you what I'm going to do, and then we'll have one of them read off the chat. I've got a piece of pecan here. It's, I forgot what I said now, 5.5 ish, a little more one way, a little less the other way. It's a little oblong, 3.5 top to bottom. So it's a nice size little piece of pecan. I have no idea how long this has been down. I've had it in my shop for about a year now, sitting in a box of other wood. Um, it all seems to be fairly dry. This came from my friend down in Atlanta, used to be a wood dealer, but she got out of the business and found a flat rate box full of a flat rate box worth of wood that she wanted to send me just to get it out of her hair. And this was in that box. So I'm looking forward to turning this. Who knows when I get done, if it comes out right, I may send it to Elizabeth and let her enjoy it. Anyway, piece of pecan. We're going to turn a lidded bowl out of this one piece. I'm not going to cut it. You know, we normally cut a chunk off to become a lid. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to part in, core it out, take the core out to become the lid. So that's what we're going to do with this. And with that, I'm going to get started, and I'm going to let one of these guys read off our chat and share who all is here.
I did it last time, so I guess it's one of yours time.
Okay. First one to talk loses. Is that what it is?
He's Todd.
I guess that's you, Todd, because he only laughed.
I can give it a try. We have Lawrence Aldridge in there. We have Ronald Todd. He says good afternoon from New Jersey. Let's see. Weeval. Oh my goodness. A refresh already. Just Lawrence. My middle name there, Lawrence. Jennifer's Craft and Creations.
Evening, Jennifer.
I think you missed Mike Sound, Dances with Aardvark.
Yep, I did. I see him up there now. I wasn't sure how far to scroll up, but there he is. Yeah. Chris Charlton. Old Man River Woodturner.
Hey, Dale.
Yeah. Let's see. Paul Norfolk Hunter says good evening. Malcolm Douglas retracted a message. Okay. Scrolling. Johnny's Lathe Crafts says hello.
Evening, Johnny.
Roger Wallum.
Roger.
Let's see. Mike Evans says good evening. Todd at Glen Cove. Did I get him? No, Todd at Glen Cove says hello.
And Tom Kenny.
Did I fly by him?
Yep. Anthony Green.
Small Woodlot.
Pat?
Yeah, let's see.
Rob from Copper Owl.
Oh, I'm just you're ahead of me there. Yeah, Copper Owl's there. Let's see.
Yeah, Haley's in as well.
Hi, Haley.
Another refresh. Ward Wilson, way down at the bottom. Don't want to miss him.
Hey, Ward.
From the West
Zombie
Coast of
Woodturners,
Arizona.
that is in there. Turning and learning.
Hi, Al.
And Al's in, yeah, Al Dawson.
Oh yeah, Al Dawson's in there. Good afternoon, Al.
And Brian at Heartwood Turney.
Evening, Brian.
Did I get Anthony Green before?
I think you did.
Yeah, I think so too.
And Zed is in. Hi, Zed.
Yeah, I actually got him a minute. I was way out of order. Yeah, when Wayne reads them off, my screen never updates the whole time, and it'll be updating on him, and he'll be scrolling all over the place.
Yep.
Now I'm doing it, and Brian at Heartwood turning. I don't know.
Zed says that he likes to put laxative in his alphabet soup. He calls it letter rip.
Oh, phew.
Doug almost dropped his skew or whatever his gouge. I don't see any
right.
now.
Doug is going to have a giggle for the next hour now.
Probably. Every time that goes through my head. You know, that's worse than an earwig. You know, those tunes that you can't get out of your head once you hear them. Oh, my goodness. Let her rip. I tell you what, pecan to me is kind of like cherry. Love the smell of it. Just smells good. Just smells good. I want to get my shape here before I. Let me just talk about this just a second because this came up in my videos this morning that I was watching. As I'm coming, let me get that to the close up here and it'll make more sense. I tend to start down here at the bottom and I work my way up from the very start, even as I'm roughing. And sorry, my wife just came in telling me she's going to go get her glasses. Anyway, I cut at an angle coming across that bottom corner. I don't go straight across the bottom. I don't go straight up the side. I come across at an angle. And what I see a lot of folks doing is they'll go one way and the other and then talk about they wish they had just a tiny bit more wood. Where I'm getting my shape from the very beginning and I'm not wasting wood. I don't know where somebody exposed me to that idea and I've done it ever since. It just makes more sense to me than going straight up and down the side and straight across the bottom. Go ahead and start at the bottom on an angle. Cut your corners off.
Yeah,
That way you're
that's
doing
right.
two things.
That's the way I tend to do it, Doug.
Yeah.
I do the same thing.
Frederick Days just come in. Oh, sorry, Todd.
I think we said it at the same time.
I'm glad
You
to have
did.
everybody in.
And Gary Hills has joined us. Hi, Gary.
Just looking at my tin in here, I'm a little big yet. But even to get the tenon or recess, either one, so many people make this a flat side, but that's the first thing they do. And to me, it seems like it's wasting wood. I measured that with my calipers, set at 2 inches, and I'm sitting here looking at both sides, and it's still probably just a touch bigger than I need it to be. But we're going to go on. It will suffice for now. And if by chance I made it perfectly sized, all I got to do is come back and touch it up.
Now, Zed has just said that he told his son that if he is good at something, he should never do it for free. And his son responded, "So that's why you tell so many dad jokes."
Oh, Zed. Which reminds me, Zed, go ahead and get your link put in if you have it ready. You may be like me and not have it ready. I just got mine last night. By the way, I know some of you care. I'm turning right at 1,000 RPMs right now. It's a lightweight, not lightweight. Well, it's relatively light, smallish piece of wood. So I feel real comfortable with it on a worm screw at this speed.
Zed says that he told his wife that she should embrace her mistakes, and she gave him a hug.
That's right.
That explains a lot of my life.
Why you get a lot of hugs?
Yeah.
So Gary is asking, what would you turn into? It's pecan, Gary. Or pecan, as we say.
I grew up in Alabama, Georgia, North Florida. I tend to say pecan. But yeah, however you want to say it, those little brown nuts. And for those who are not familiar with the tree, pecan trees are big trees. A lot of wood when they need to be replaced. It's a lot of wood. So
now Ronald's asking, is there any reason there's no tailstock support?
So I can get to my foot. Yeah, I mean, I've used this worm screw enough. I trust it, and so I'm not real concerned about the tailstock. You can't. It would be a catastrophic thing if it failed at this point.
Now, in honor of St. Patrick's Day, Zed is asking, what do you call a leprechaun that lives on your porch?
I'm afraid to ask.
Patio furniture.
Oh,
God.
Oh, me. My funny bone must be tickled today. Usually I just kind of moan. Today it's causing me to giggle.
At my house growing up, Doug, it was a pecan, but it was pecan pie.
Yeah, get that one.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense either. Pecan pie, that's probably my favorite pie of all pies. And I'd rather have pie than cake any day.
I kind of prefer lemon.
You prefer what?
Lemon.
Lemon's not bad. Lemon's not bad at all. My dad always liked anything lemon, and so I kind of developed a propensity for lemon anything. But then as a teen and early adulthood, I decided I like pecan pie best of all. It's a good one. There are some that aren't so good. Still got a flat spot there, so I got to get rid of that yet.
I've got to say that my two favourites are probably an apple crumble or a rhubarb and ginger crumble.
That doesn't sound bad either. That's that area I was talking about. It's a little inclusion, but I haven't touched that area just yet. So we'll get rid of that. Which means I got to reshape just a little bit. Not a big deal.
Now, Ward asked a leprechaun for a loan of a few bucks. He said he would, but he was a little short. That's a nice cut, Doug.
Yeah, Brian saying rhubarb tart for him. Yep. Can't beat some nice rhubarb.
That rhubarb is something I've never. I can't get past the looks of it. I think.
Why, it looks great.
If I were to ever have some, I'd probably love it, but I've just never can't bring myself to even try it.
Well, there's a place in, or an area, I should say, in England called the Rhubarb Triangle.
Mm.
It's in Yorkshire, around about the Wakefield area, I think, of Yorkshire, where they force grow rhubarb during the winter.
Oh, okay.
And you can actually, in some of the areas where it's grown, you can actually hear the rhubarb growing.
Really?
Yep.
Grows that fast?
Yeah, we used to grow it here. Now, Zed's friend proposed to his fiancée on St. Patrick's Day with a fake diamond, and she told him, no, that's a shamrock.
Oh, God.
You know, when my students at school used to say that, Wayne, I used to say, did somebody just call me?
And Ronald Kanne said rhubarb and strawberry pie is popular in his area. No, that's actually good because you've got the tartness from the rhubarb and the sweetness from the strawberry.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, see a lot of
people
strawberry here.
people here eat a lot of rhubarb and strawberry. In fact, they talk about rhubarb pie, but that's what they're saying is rhubarb and strawberry. I like strawberry pie fine. I think I'd like some of Jill's steak pies. Aren't they pretty good, Wayne?
Strawberry and what, Doug?
Some of Jill's steak pie.
Oh, no, Jill's pies. Steak and kidney pies. In fact, I made steak and kidney pies the other day. And Gav said he is in, and he said, evening all. He's in the rhubarb triangle. And we were given a stick of rhubarb and a bag of sugar to dip it in as kids. Yep, so I know exactly where you're coming from there, Gav.
All right.
You guys keep this up and I'm going to get hungry.
I hear you. Even though I just had lunch.
Now, Fred's asking if you have a bowl saver or are you doing it the old fashioned way with a parting tool?
I'll show you here in just a minute. I've got the McNaughton coring system, but I'll show you what I'm using to take this out. Many of y'all saw it as well as I did. Ronald Kanne, however you say his last name. He did his lidded bowl from one piece of wood the other day, and I'm going to basically part it same way he did. This piece really isn't big enough for the McNaughton coring system.
And Paul Hunter is saying, I think a proper lardy cake made with lard is wonderful. I haven't had one of them in years.
I can't say I've ever had one.
Much better, much better.
Okay, so why didn't the crab cross the road? Because he used the sidewalk.
Mm.
That's Z again. You may guess.
That's a good one.
So we're going to go down the wide to chicken cross the road ones now.
Have we got enough time for all of them?
They just kind of keep going, don't they?
That's all right. At least everyone leaves cheerful.
All right. Some of you may have noticed there was one grit that I did not put on my my inertia sander. That's the 120 grit, and it's because this company doesn't make 120 with a Velcro back for some reason. So I bought a shop roll, and I'm going to, with my next order, I will adjust my grits of sandpaper. Now, I am amazed at how quickly this has gone smooth. Of course, I cut it fairly well, but still.
You did make some lovely cuts.
Has that nice bark inclusion there. I don't know if that's going to give us grief or not. It might. But that's a pretty clear piece of pecan. I was hoping for a little more color. But it is what it is. We're okay. We're okay. We're going to live with it. All right. Lock my spindle. Ah, there we go. Worm screws hold a whole lot better than most people give them credit for.
Oh, definitely.
If you're
drill
not
the right
careful,
size,
they can be tough to get off there sometimes.
absolutely.
Oh yeah, tell me about that.
Wayne is the expert.
Yeah, thinking about Harrogate a couple of years ago. Oh my life.
All right. All right. I only have to open up half a turn to get that in,
No,
so I'm okay.
Paul Hunter has said he's talking about the lardy cake. It's made with an enriched dough with layers of lard and sugar, and done in the oven, and comes out as a wonderful sticky gooey texture.
There you go.
Sounds good.
There's that gap between my jaws. That's how deep is that, or how wide is that? That's like 3/16. No, it's almost 3/16. It could be smaller, but that's not too bad. It should not make a mark on that wood. So
that's almost perfect.
Almost perfect, yes.
And Zed says he's acquired a carload of apricot wood that he's going to use in his premiere today for a wing bowl sort of thing.
Cool.
Apricot is lovely to work with.
Absolutely.
And he's put the link in there as well.
Good. Get my speed back up. We're at 1200 now. I want to flatten this off before I part it out.
You want to change camera, Doug?
Yeah, I do. I meant to do that a minute ago.
Oh, Johnny's Layers-Craft. That must be Johnny Foster. It's his birthday today.
Ah, good. All right. Pretty flat across there. Now we get to have some fun. Now somebody asked about...
his break's over, and he's going to Texas House for his birthday dinner.
There you go. This is the tool that I'll be using. It's a parting tool, just a straight cutting tool, part of the McNaughton coring system. So it just kind of keeps going and going and going and going and going. And oh, there's the end. That is a long, heavy handle.
It's a brilliant tool. It really
Yes,
is.
it really is. Some people just cannot get along with them, and I understand. Um, they can really give you a fit. I'm gonna turn my speed down about 800. I'm gonna go
And
in at an angle.
the way you actually sharpen these is use a diamond card over the top.
I'm gonna go in at an angle, and I'm aiming. Change cameras again, so it makes sense. I'm gonna aim right about there for where I'm gonna bottom out at. So I'm leaving myself about 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going from the corner out here to the bottom, right about there. Hope that makes sense to you.
Can I make a suggestion first?
Okay, go ahead.
When you take that core out, you're going to want to turn it around, right?
Yep, you're ahead of me.
If you were to put a small mortise or
Yep.
tenon in the center of that before you core it,
Yes,
it
yes, you're
becomes
exactly
easier
right.
to do that.
Yep. I'm going to. I just wanted to get this started. Just wanting to run down the side of the bowl. There we go. I'm a little high. That's part of the problem.
And now Frederick D is saying that's the tool that he was thinking about. He doesn't have one, don't know where to get one. He'd make one, but he doesn't have the steel. It's the McNaughton coring system. It comes with that parting tool. It comes with various sizes of coring blades as well.
That's not the tool I want. Yeah, give me half a second here. I'll just get this started, and then I'll grab those other tools so you can see them.
Carsten's just come in.
Hey, Karsten. Hope you're doing well today.
Oh goodness, that pecan is hard.
What's really nice about having met Karsten at Harrogate is that now I can put a face with his name.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm doing very well, Karsten. Thanks.
All right. Let me grab these real quick here. The McNaughton coring system it's a tool you have to learn. There's a strong learning curve on it, but it comes with a number of different knives to go in that same handle. That's the deepest, that's the most severe curve. But then let's see, to get these, here we go. That's the next one. Showed you the first one upside down.
Fred, I put the name that you were looking for in the chat back a little ways.
Yeah, there's 3 other knives. These are actually 2 different sets. There may be another one that I've got somewhere besides this straight one. But then they go in a turret. And I'm not sure where my turret
You
is.
can get a miniature set of knives and you can get a standard set of knives. And a lot like Doug said, you do have a turret system. It's not like the one-way system, the woodcut system, and things like this. It's basically done freehand. So it's quite a steep learning curve using the McNaughton system.
Okay. And I cannot leave those knives sitting on the bed of the lathe because they fall off.
That's why you keep a pile of shavings under the lathe to catch.
That's part of it. And I keep a rubber mat down there and when things do fall, I get my toes out of the way.
Plus, you get free exercise picking them up. So it's a win-win all the way around.
Okay.
Frederick is in the UK. I can't remember who in the UK sells it. To tell you, if anyone. It is. Tony Turns Wood said he thinks it's from New Zealand. Yeah, it is from New Zealand. I believe the guy's name is Ken McNaughton, who developed it.
And
It's a
Paul
great
says
system.
he's watching from behind the cushion.
Why?
This doesn't look as dangerous as his last one, Paul.
Dangerous? Who's dangerous?
The thing is, with the way that Doug's doing this, he's actually he's pushing from the tailstock towards the headstock.
Yes.
So it's not as dangerous as sort of going in from the side, where you might well push the piece out of the chuck.
Oh, me. Some of you may have heard it said before, pecan, as it gets older, becomes pecan-crete. And this one has gotten to that stage. But the Easy Wood tool sure takes care of it. Holy cow. I'm going to come back across with my bowl gouge.
Tony Turns Wood said he has the Bull Saver Max 4. It can do this, but the setup time is brutal.
Yeah.
And he finds himself making shavings rather than setting up the core, unless he has a dozen blanks to core out.
I'm just making sure I'm aiming at the right spot.
You know, last time I used this coring system was taking out the centers of the cowboy hats when I was making them.
Yes, yes, yes.
And if you notice with the cutter, when Doug brings it out again, is that it's a sort of diamond shape, and it's actually wider than the bar. So you have got clearance for the bar going in there.
If you didn't have that, the heat generated would just be ridiculous.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, and you'd
It
have
would be brutal.
a lot of chances for catches as well.
Show you that real quick since Wayne brought it up. Yeah, you can see the tip is quite wider than the bar itself. So it self cleans. Not quite. I'm almost there. Almost there. That's it.
So,
We got
Doug,
there.
how will you know when you've got it out of there?
When it goes across the room. You know, as you get closer, you kind of feel that you're getting close, and that's why I was checking it a minute ago. I knew I was close. And I'll show you how close we were here.
It's like a butterfly letting its wings go.
Yeah, there you can see how wide that was when it broke out. And I wasn't much bigger than that when I was trying to press it out. Well, my mouse goes, my lid goes. All right, and we turn that recess so I can come back after a while, shape all of this. I can get this to my exact sizes. Um, it's going to drop in there a little ways, which is fine. So now my outside is done. I just need to want to work on this rim. Part of that inclusion left us, which isn't bad. It still looks pretty nice. I've got a little bit of a burn line. Well, y'all can't see it from there.
Now, Frederick's asking, do you think this could be done with a standard diamond bladed parting tool? The piece would have to be quite small. The size of a diamond bladed parting tool, the size of the blade itself, is a lot smaller than the one that Doug was using there. The handle is a hell of a lot shorter than the one that Doug was using there. So you might actually have some problems.
Yeah, this is the
It
tool
probably
you're
could
referring
be
to.
done, but it would need to be done on a bull that's a little bit smaller than this one, I
Yes.
would think.
With these, the tip is the same width as the widest part of the bar. And so you're rubbing on both sides the entire depth. Unless you cut, double width, you can do that and just cut in that far at a time. Zink, 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 and that can be done. Be sure would be nice to have a little longer parting tool and a longer handle as well. This one, by the way, is just about gone. Um, it'll serve me for small bowls, but that's about the extent of it. All right, I'm going to come back and clear the inside of this bowl a little better. Um, I need to figure out where my ridge is going to be for that lid, but we can get a little of this waste wood out before we get to that point. I'm just thinking I better check that now. If I don't, I'll be sorry.
I'd put a pencil mark in there.
I think what I'm actually going to do, Ruby, is use the parting tool and just work my way to it.
And Real Simple Things has joined us. Good evening.
Hey, Buzz.
Hey, Buzz. We've been missing you. There's been some Bernie lately, and you haven't been there. In fact, I did Bernie a couple weeks ago. Thought surely you'd pop up. We're almost there. Got a nice guesstimate to start with. I'm not concerned about this being a woodturners fit at all. Just a nice loose fit will be fine. Of course, this edge will be cleaned up as well. But that's part of my issue right now.
Because you'll be cleaning that, is it okay if it just doesn't quite fit in there right now?
Yes, but I still want it to be. I want it to be pretty close. Now. Okay, now I know where I'm at as far as that goes. And because I found it, Ta-da, ta-da, ta-da. I do own them. Ruby was starting to wonder if I really owned any.
I was thinking actually they eloped with mine.
Yeah, well, I've got about an inch or so in the bottom still to take out, so we're in great shape there. Those out of my way. Still got stuff in my
Paul
way.
Hunter has said he's prepared a small ash bowl ready to burn after watching Paul Finlay last night. Just waiting on getting a blowtorch. Very good, Paul. I didn't watch Paul last night. I was watching Emma.
Paul used a butane torch on a piece of ash, and then and brushed it, and then used liming wax.
Those small lighter torches work just as well as a large one as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've got both. I've got one of the big ones, but I do have a Dremel one as well, which works very well.
Oh, my sides are good. My bottom is still awfully thick. I'm not getting. Now it should be better.
Hopefully you'll check your depth too.
Yep. Yeah, it's still from. Yeah, I'm thick in the bottom still. But we're going to swing around. We're going to start back up here.
What about using a finisher?
Could. That's starting to feel real good. Real good. Come on. Okay, yeah.
Well, Baz has said, I think somebody asked him how he was doing. Baz has said he's been struggling a little with motivation. Yeah, tell me about that. But otherwise, he's great. And Gav said here, they said he's just had 12 months off from making. Chin up, man. It'll come back. Yeah, hopefully, same for me.
Funny, I got that feeling after turning and roughing out those 20 bowls in the last couple days. I didn't feel like turning at all this morning.
All right. Let's get my calipers and check where that actually is. One of these soon days, I'm going to rebuild the, not rebuild, redo my blocks so I can use my other thickness gauge. Okay, we've got it from an inch thick to whatever this is. It's not very. Just over half an inch.
Ron is asking Doug if you could do a demo on using the McNaughton system someday. It's way more affordable than woodcut or the one-way coring system.
Yeah, it is a little more affordable, but
it's a steep learning curve.
Yes, it is. But watching the videos that are on YouTube helps tremendously.
Yes, Baz, it does suck nuts. definitely. He's talking about motivation there.
Oh yeah, yeah. Motivation when you're out of motivation for various reasons, it can be tough to get back in the swing of it. I've gone through it. Wayne's dealing with it now.
I think,
We all do.
yeah, most people go through it at some point or another. It's like anything, you do too much of it for a while and then you need a total break or some inspiration to give you another direction to go in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're gonna clean up that edge so that'll fit in there real nice. I could force it in, but I want to clean up this outer edge here just a little bit before we do that. I think I'll stick with the Easy Wood finisher. I could do it with a bowl gouge without any problem, but
Oh, I can't pronounce that surname. I'm gonna bugger this up totally. Tob La Ines. He is at work and he just wanted to drop in to say hello.
yeah,
Hi,
Todd.
Todd, welcome.
So
Todd
that
typically,
rim you're doing there, Doug, is that
yeah,
got a curve to it there, a little concave
yes,
curve?
yes.
I think that's going to be pretty cool.
Is there anything Doug does that isn't cool?
Not that I
Yes.
know of, but sometimes I just point it out.
When I blow them up, that's not cool.
Well, I don't know. He does tend to lose things a lot in the workshop. That's not cool.
Every once in a while.
Well, I can relate to that problem.
Well, sure. Back down to there's 520. We'll go through the grits. We'll start down in the bottom part and work out.
Now, Todd has said that he envies those folks who have a dedicated shop where they can go in and everything is set up. He does stuff in his garage and he has to move things
Absolutely.
around so he can get set up and everything.
Which Todd is that? There's more Todds in here than you can check.
That's Todd of Glen Cove.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Well, I hate to say it, but I have a dedicated shop in my basement where
Yes.
everything is set up, and I still manage to lose things on a regular basis.
Yep.
I was
Heather's in. Did I miss Heather coming in?
no, she just came in. Hi, Heather.
Hey, Heather. Yeah, my basement shop is a dedicated shop as well. And just before we came on, I was in semi-panic mode looking for this McNaughton parting tool. Could not find it. I finally did on the other end of the shop where my son had moved it. At least I think he did. I'm gonna blame him anyway.
Well, before we went live, and before Todd and Waden came in, I was telling Doug how I was looking for my small rotor, and after 2 weeks, I was ready to go buy another one. And I finally found it. It was with a second router, both still in the box. And Zed says that his tools are always right where he left them. He just can't remember where he left them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
We can relate, Zed. Wait till you get to our age, eh, Wayne?
We
definitely.
we relate better than a lot of people. Oh me.
It's been that long since I've been in the workshop. I forgot where the workshop was.
Mm.
Well, you'll have to make a trip over here with your wife, and you can use mine.
And if you'd really get crazy, you could drive down to Kentucky and
Yeah.
I tell you what, Doug, if I come up on the lottery this weekend, I'll take you up on that.
Now, Lawrence says he's been through a triple bypass, and a week after he got out, he fell, and the doctor had to go back in and restitch him up together. You're gonna have to be a little more careful, Lawrence. Well, actually, Karsten said he's gone through a similar issue as I did with the router, but he usually has to buy the new one and then look for a place.
Then
When
find
he
it.
looks for a place to store it, he finds the first one.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's happened to a number of us, Karsten.
Absolutely. There's still a little tear out in there. I'd love to get rid of.
Yes, we do hope you're healing well, Lawrence.
Speed back up to 1200. I'm going to turn this up on edge.
And Baz has said that he popped into the shed the other day and came straight back out. It looked like he'd been robbed, but instead of taking anything, they've dumped a load of stuff in there.
I hate to say it, but my garage looks the same way.
Yep. Mine stays that way.
Well, 5 years ago, I set the goal of using up all the wood in the garage so I could reorganize it. And I think I have more wood in it now than I did before I started.
Yeah, that happens.
Well, one day I came home and there were 6 logs in front of the garage, about 3 feet in diameter, about 4 feet high. And I asked my husband, where'd these come from? And he said, I don't know, some guy in a truck said you really needed them. And he dropped them off. It took me a while to figure out who had dropped them off in front of my garage.
Yeah. Oh, I think I got it. Well, yeah, finally. That little stripe of, just a little stripe of tear out there. So now we can continue on.
Right, Todd has said, and that's, I'm sorry, that's a surname that I absolutely ruined when I pronounced it earlier on.
La Jeunesse.
Yeah, yeah. He just wanted to say that he's a newer turner, and many times watching this later on, I wonder why Doug is doing something, and it's great that Wayne and Ruby are there to explain. Also, Todd as well. Todd's here, and he does explanations as well.
Thank you, Todd.
Todd L is one of those guys. When I do the Easy Wood demonstration up in Dayton, he comes by, spends some time. He's supposed to be, he usually goes out on an errand for his wife and he stops by. He spends about 2 hours with me and then is real annoyed. And I understand why, but he's annoyed when his wife starts texting him and says, why aren't you home yet?
And Zed has said, and thank you very much, Zed. It's very much appreciated. He said the only problem there, Todd, is half the time Ruby and Wayne are making things up.
It's a lot of work being that creative, Zed.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. For you folks who have been wondering about the news on the Nova saga, things are still going in the same direction they have been. I had been told that Technitool International was not going to bail them out. It's only Technitool USA that's in trouble. So everybody else is in great shape. And they're still going to who International is going to back up any warranties, anything like that. So you don't have any problems there.
That's good to know.
Yeah. As a company, they're fine. It's just Technitool USA that's having financial issues. And so I've not been told anything, but I've got my suspicions from what I was told that after everything gets settled out, sounds like they've got a new plan already in place for sales and service and all of those kinds of things, here as well as internationally. So I was glad to hear all of that.
And Chris from Bailey Woodworks has joined us. Welcome,
Hey,
Chris.
Chris.
Hi, Chris. And a big thank you to Paul Hunter there. He's said that these live shows are a fantastic way for us newcomers to pick up great knowledge and experience from seasoned turners. Cheers, Paul.
Looks like
I'll tell
Jamie
you-
Page has joined.
Oh,
Oh,
my
Jamie.
life, Jamie's in. Evening, Jamie.
Oh, nephew Jamie.
I'll tell you something else these lives are awfully good for. When I first started watching them, I wasn't sure. I agreed with everybody else. There was an awful lot of folks on doing lives and doing demos. Who do you watch? Who are the good ones? Who are not? And I'd been around for a while when I started watching lives, so I could pick up on a lot of things. But still, you just don't ever know. You can pick up some bad habits watching some folks who really don't need to be on YouTube.
Well, that's true. That's true. And Jamie said, yeah, live shows are great. Cough, Wayne. Yeah, okay, Jamie. Okay.
Where I was going was that.
Give me time, man. Give me time.
Yeah. So many times on lives, you hear about somebody else, just like this project. This is not my original thought. This is Ronald Kanne. And so just kind of want to look at that and see, oh, we're pretty good. I want a little bit of a concave curve to this, and we'll do something on the top as well, I think. Anyway, this was his project. This is my interpretation of his project. Not bad, not bad. So, you hear about, we'll even put links up for people if we think they're particularly good turner that people ought to watch or something of that nature. And we'll share too, just like Zed put up his link a while ago. Zed shows how to make flying saucers all the time.
Ruby just put in there saying, Todd, the record power jaws will fit on the Nova chucks. Todd has said, Ruby, I was interested in the new dome jaws. If anybody has a chance to get hold of the newest edition of Woodturner magazine, it's actually got an article on the new record power chuck and jaws.
Yeah, the Victory chuck and the new sets of jaws.
Yeah.
If you've got a record power chuck or a Nova chuck, you just need to buy the jaw set, and you can get the easy change ones.
That's right. Yeah.
What I found with the dome jaws is that after I've mounted them on the chuck and I've put the jaws up as tight and close together as they'll go, what I did was took a 5 mil drill bit and drilled straight down the center of the dome jaws. And what that does is it puts an extra edge on the inside edge of the jaws, and it allows the chuck to grip a little better on wood.
The Pete Ravenscroft actually did that in a video, didn't he?
Yes, he did. And what happened was when the jaws were designed, they were made by engineers who work with metal, and jaws that will hold on metal don't necessarily hold on wood that well. And that's why drilling that hole just gives you the little edge that makes them hold better.
Right, now JP is saying to me that I'd be proud of his dad. He's found a place that sells tomahawk steaks for £5 a piece. I need to know where that is. He's also said it's in Canterbury. I just wonder if the post.
Well, he says he's gonna when his dad's gone to bed, but When he gets up, he'll find out and let you know.
Yeah, cheers, Jamie. Well, I think he was talking to Buzz when he said that, but if you could let me know as well, Jamie, would be very much appreciated. Oh, just to let you know, Jamie, I did mention earlier on, I made some steak and kidney pies yesterday.
Oh, what time's dinner? Doug,
Frederick is asking Jamie, will you be going to the wood turning weekend? I can't remember where that's going on this year.
The Weekender. I
Are
just saw
you-
an ad for that. Can't think of it either. That's
Oh,
odd.
It's in Swindon this year. Swindon Steam Museum.
Zed says, did you know that when you're born, you have 4 kidneys? And 2 of them become adult knees later on. And then you wear them out and have to get a new set.
That bowl's in my way. I'm sorry, they become adult what?
Knees.
Oh,
Kidneys.
Adult knees.
I'll admit I had to read it twice.
and I was listening, so that made it tough. All right. Same thing with this as with a bowl. Going that way is actually downhill with the grain.
Now,
This is side drain.
are you going to put a knob right there or something?
Yes, yes.
Out of a different wood or the same wood?
I've got a little piece of wood sitting over here that I think might look pretty good.
So while that's on, you could drill the hole for the knob.
Or I've cut a little divot in the end. I'll make a little ball like it would sit right in there. Either way, I mean, yes, you could. Sure, you could. Drill a hole and put a tenon on the knob.
Well, you could turn a knob right there.
Yeah, I could do that too.
Just in case anybody isn't in the know, for over here in the UK, Emma, the tiny turner, has taken over Joe Sonia's paints from Chromacraft. Sadly, Lynn, who did the Joe Sonia's paints, is ill, and she's retired from doing that now. So Emma has taken it on.
I saw that the other day and I thought, that sounds like it's good news.
Now, Jamie has just said he's been making mini boxes from golf balls for people to raffle off to raise money for charity for an organisation where a kid passed and he played a lot of golf.
Very nice.
A golf ball's made different now to the way they used to be, so you can actually turn them.
True.
Yes, yes.
They used to be full of like wrapped rubber band or something, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they used to be. Around about 2 miles from where I live, there used to be a golf ball factory. Oh yeah, Jamie's saying they are different. It hasn't got the bands in. They haven't got the bands inside now.
Yeah. They've usually got the outer shell. Then there's an inner core, or it's called an outer core. It's just inside the outside shell, and then there's an inner core. So just 3 layers. Every once in a while, some of the golf balls have 4, but most of them just use 3 now.
Yeah, right. Because they used to be made of wrapped up rubber bands.
Yes, they did. It was always fun to find one that had cracked and try to unwrap those rubber bands without cutting them.
Yeah,
I
and
never,
Todd of
I
Glen
never
Cove
could.
is asking Jamie, you'll have to do a video for the process. And Jamie said, yeah, he plans on doing that.
That's an
Jamie's
interesting
also said
project.
Jamie's also said it's like a composite material inside now.
Yeah.
I remember playing golf with those old ones, and if you had one that had a slice in it and you hit it just right, that cover could peel back and it would go zing, and it would.
Oh yeah.
I should have thought twice about the sound effect.
No, it was fine. It was fine.
Wayne, you were asking about the wood turning weekender.
Yep.
It's in Swindon,
Yes, it's in Swindon at the Steam Museum. I saw that.
right?
Ah. So there it's just comes up a little bit above. Let's see what we can do about a knob now. Yeah, there. Where's my piece? Oh, here it is. I knew I had it close.
That looks purple.
It is. Piece of purple heart.
And Malcolm Douglas has said there is a video of someone turning boxes from golf balls. Not sure who it was, but he saw it a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm. Crank the speed up.
And Mike from Dancers has said JP turned 18 golf ball boxes and never got a hole in one.
That's awesome.
That's pretty good, yeah.
The small woodlot is asking, what is the RPM range of the lathes everyone runs? My main lathe that I use goes from, I think, 50 through to 3,500. My VB36 goes from 0 to around about 4,000, I think.
Yeah, mine, my different ones would go within the same range.
This one goes from 50, and I just turned it up to 4,000, which I don't know why I would ever need to go to 4,000.
I think my Nova DVR XP goes from like 100 to 3,500.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jamie's got a Harvey, and that goes from around about 20 through to 4,000-ish.
And Lawrence says you have to watch which golf balls you use for carving and turning because some of them have gases in them. Yeah, I'd be careful turning them.
Tony Turns Wood said the Oliver goes from 10 to 3,600.
Well, when I started turning, the lathes didn't have a readout on them as to what your speed was.
No, they didn't.
So I learned how to just judge by listening to it.
Yeah, that's probably the better way
No,
anyway.
I think Tony has said that he wanted the VB36 so bad, and Brian said, have a word with Glyn Senior. He has one for sale, possibly. Now, Glyn has got 2 VB36s. The main one he's got, which is concreted into the floor, has the 3 horsepower motor, but he does have a second one that we went to pick up a few years ago, which is one of the earlier ones, which has a 2 horsepower motor.
Yes, Jamie, you're right. When I started turning, it was as fast or slow as I could pedal. And today it tends to be more on the slow side.
Yeah, and then once you got tired, I had to step in and start doing the pedaling for her.
Well, yeah, you were my apprentice back then. And Karsten has said nice skew work, Doug, and so did Zed. And I agree, you were doing a lovely job of it.
Well, you do what you can.
Well, you do know we'd tell you if you weren't.
I hope so. Because I am not too old to learn. I'll never forget back in my early days of YouTube. I just getting going good.
I didn't
One guy
realize
said,
Tony Turns Wood is in the States when he was asking about the VB36.
yeah.
And he said he found one in the States for $6.5 grand plus
Yes.
1,500 to ship it.
Probably be cheaper to go get it no matter where it was.
Well, he did say unless anyone wants a lightly used kidney, it'll take a bit to save up.
Yeah.
Jamie just said, Doug's turning? I've not looked away from the chat yet.
There are days when the chat just keeps going and it's hard to look away. Well, I'm sanding, Jamie. I'm not really turning. Oh, just for giggles, let's I haven't used this for a while. Let's use some of this stuff.
Now, Trevor P, hobby turner, he ordered the record power jaws that we were talking about earlier in January through Yandles, and the supply date keeps on being delayed. I'm now told it's going to be the end of March.
Yeah, part of that has come into being because of the these tariff wars, and it's caused some changes in how parts and that are being shipped and where they're being made.
Yeah. No, I take it Trevor is in the UK since we ordered them through Yandles.
Yeah.
We're just over an hour, aren't we? Okay.
Gary says.
You're fine, Doug. You just carry on.
Gary says a good judge of when you are turning too fast is when you and the lathe start shaking. Or the lathe starts walking across the shop floor.
Now here's an interesting phenomenon. And people, every once in a while, somebody wants to argue, but I've seen it way too many times. I know this is true. Purple, more brown. But if I put that out in the bright sunshine, that'll get more purple than that is.
Yep, definitely.
Amazing. Purple Heart.
That's what happens with Purple Heart.
Yeah.
If you want to bring back the purple in Purple Heart, put it in sunshine.
I wonder. I've never tried it. Just a UV light, like for your UV resins.
Yeah, that would work as well.
Okay. I may do that on this one after I get it installed. And
you don't want to leave a stem to glue in?
No, I'm not cutting a hole. I'm just going to glue this into the divot that I turned. I must have dulled that out.
Those UV curing stations that have like a turntable in them and lights around the side and underneath,
yeah,
they'd be awesome for that.
Imagine.
Yeah.
I've got a light for UV resin, just a
little handheld
one. Come to think of it.
Yeah, that'll work fine as well.
Yeah.
my wife's got one of those little stations for her fingernail stuff. That would work. All right. Well, oh, by the way, for those who were with us last week,
Right, now Zed is asking, does Purple Heart glow under black light? I'm not too sure
I don't
on
think
Purple
so.
Heart. Elm does.
So does locust.
Yes.
There's quite a few that do, but I'm not too sure of all of them. It might let you know on the wood database, but
Very
I'm not
nice.
too sure on that as well.
Yeah. This
Lovely
was last
book.
week's project that we did, the sea grape. And there's been a lot of good discussion about sea grape now. Found out that in Oregon they call it Oregon grape.
Zed
Well, that's
said
got
pistachio does show up on the
okay.
blacklight, and mulberry does as well. Jamie said, or he thinks it does.
I've never seen mulberry glow, but it could. I know black locust does.
Now,
Honey
Gava
locust does
said
not.
that bowl is very nice, Doug, and the box is also very nice. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
that can be
sweet.
great.
I like that.
The bowl and the lid will get returned, not returned, but put back on, and I'll polish those up with my axe paste
On
and
the
wax them.
lid, on the top of the lid, you could burn a couple lines near the top and one down a little further, so there are 3 lines.
Sure, yeah. Put 2 up here, dink, 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 real close, and then another one about half or 2/3 down the curve would be great. I want to I'll reverse it, and I'll hollow that out just slightly. It's not super thick there, so I don't have a ton of wood, but just enough to maybe take out that
The
The
screw
whole
screw
hole.
hole. But the inside of the bowl, hold that up closer so you can see it. Try to get the light off of it a little bit. But you see the rim for the lid to sit on. It's just a loose fitting lid. It's not tight. In fact, it rattles just a little bit, but not a lot. So
Now,
anyway,
Jamie has put in a list of the fluorescent woods, and he's put a link into the wood database where you can actually find that.
very cool. Very cool.
Now, for anybody who hasn't been there, the wood database is a brilliant resource.
Yes.
Unless, like Doug last week, when he went into the wood database to find out about the what was it called again, Doug?
Sea grape. And there's
Sea
nothing
grape,
there.
and he couldn't find anything on sea grape, so I just googled sea grape.
And it's everywhere. Wikipedia has it. But anyway, that's that was unusual. Every time I've ever looked for anything on wood database, it's been right there. Very easy to find. There we go. Oops, not exactly straight.
And Chris Charlton said, very nice result, Doug, both the bowl and the lidded box. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you
all. And Ronald's asked if you have a texturing tool, because you could put a texture on that lid and then burn a line on each side of the texture as well.
Yeah, my problem now is
getting it
back on the, getting it back in the jaws where it's straight. It's wanting to push out for some odd reason.
And Tony Turnswood said he posted a bunch of glowy videos on Instagram last week. Just got a 50-foot by 30-inch diameter log delivered that he's working through. Really fun. Great box there, Doug.
Well, thank you.
And Jamie said with Purple Heart and the fluorescent thing, faint to medium yellow orange streaks. It does vary by species though.
Okay. All right. Let's get this on relatively quickly. This is the new first step from Axe. This is a tongue. It's a tongue oil paste. Tongue oil blended with just a touch of beeswax, just enough so that it gives it a little body. Try not to get much, if any, on that point right there, because that's where I'm going to glue the little knob on. Typically, you put this on, walk away for 15-20 minutes, just to let it kind of soak in, let the oil part soak into the wood. And then you come back, buff it a little bit. I sanded that to 240. Change cameras. I know.
How did you
I
know
heard
that's
you before.
what I was going to say?
Well, that's what you always say. Can you change cameras so we can see a little better? Yes, I can. I got that straighter that time than I had any of the other times. It's still not straight. But anyway,
Malcolm
you can see
Douglas
the
has
difference.
said that the Denton woodturners did the golf ball ring box on YouTube about 6 years or so ago.
You can see the difference now between having the tongue oils on there and not having it.
Oh, definitely.
It's just brings the life out, like putting any oil on. And I'll do the same thing. Take that back off. We can put this back in because I sized my tenon almost perfectly. It left no marks, and I can go right back in. That should spin. Yeah, it's dead on. It's dead on. I already threw my paper towel away, so we'll get another one.
No, Zed wants to know how many tongues were needed to make that size of a tub of tongue oil.
Yeah, 4 or 5 anyway. Absolutely. It takes a few.
Probably beef tongues.
Yeah, maybe. Actually, it's all, this is a vegan approved, actually.
Actually, I know a couple of people who would only take one of their tongues.
Yeah. Sad thing is, I know who you're talking about.
Nice one, Ruby. Like it.
Yeah.
I didn't mention any names.
No,
Nope,
you
I
didn't.
know who you're talking
No,
about.
but
Oh, doesn't take a lot of this. Yeah, you're just trying to get the entire surface coated. I probably put too much on that lid. But like I said, generally you let it sit for 15-20 minutes and that oil just soaks into the wood. Come back and you buff it just lightly just to make sure you get the excess off. And then you can come back with the abrasive paste. Then once that's done, you can come back in with your wax. Axe makes a carnauba wax that is excellent. It's a pretty stiff wax. And so the trick now, the solution to it being a stiffer wax than what it used to be is you rub it in the jar a little bit more, work it, and it will get onto your paper towel. Then you can work it into your.
The thing with carnauba wax is that it needs to be heated up, so it
Yeah.
actually gets into the work.
Yep, it is
or into the piece, I should say.
Right into the surface of the wood. It's a carnauba is the hardest naturally made wax that there is. There's no, and a lot of times, like your car waxes, your carnauba car waxes, they have solvents in there, so they're not so stiff. Axe, Hampshire Sheen, some of the others don't use the solvents, so you can put it on and immediately start buffing. You don't have to wait for the solvents to dissipate. That's the word I'm looking for.
And
Word for the night, dissipate.
Zed has said that a foam pad on a drill will warm it up a bit.
Absolutely it will. Yeah. It works great. All right. So there's the first third of my finishing process. Actually, the first half. Sanding is part of your finishing process. So we've sanded. Now we've put on the oil. My ball is over here.
Now, what finish are you going to put over that?
Wax. I'll use the Axe abrasive paste and carnauba wax.
Okay.
There's
Looks
that
Very nice, Doug.
little bark inclusion there that came out just fine. I don't mind that at all. It's a
No,
natural kind of thing.
it adds a feature to it.
Absolutely. And then it will have a nice little foot. I'll reverse this and I'll smooth this ridge here out and blend it with the tenon. And that's already concave, but I'll need to sand it and work on it just a touch more. But anyway, there you have it.
Great.
Switch cameras to that one. And then I can come over here and I can click on that button. Everybody got their clothes on? Hope
Nope.
so.
Oh.
Too late if you don't. Whoa, my little ball went flying.
Uh,
That would be gone forever in my shop.
Well, I swept the other day, so there we go. Just wanted
I
to.
slept this morning, so
There we
I
are.
like the shape of it. It's got a nice rounded shape to it.
Yeah. The only thing I would do differently if I was to do it over again, I would try to work it out so the lid set just a little bit higher. Not much, just a little bit. Sits down in there, what, half, 5/8 of an inch, something like that. Not far. If it was up just a little touch higher, I think I personally would like it just a little better. But this is not bad. This is not
Well,
bad.
you can
Well,
always rechuck it and bring the rim down a bit, you know.
Yeah, sure, I can. Yeah, because I still got my tenon. I can.
Yeah,
take it
you've
back,
got some
put it
you've
back on.
got some nice comments coming through here, Doug.
Well, thanks. Appreciate it, everybody. Well, there it is. That's my take on Ronald Kanne's. Oh, there it went flying again. Ah, it's rolling a little too easy. I got to get some glue on it. Anyway, that's my take on Ronald Kanne's lidded bowl from one piece of wood. It works. You saw it. It's not that hard. The biggest part is getting that core out of there. And the oldest way of coring is with a parting tool, an oversized parting tool.
Yep.
Richard Raffin has one that he uses, an old one that I don't think is available any longer. The McNaughton is available. There are other oversized, great big jobs that you can do things like this, or even bigger. You can go a lot bigger.
With the McNaughton, you used to have two choices because he actually changed the heads on the cutters and on the parting tools. He changed it from, I believe, a square one to the diamond one a good few years ago.
Yeah. There were some issues with them binding or something, and I think it was a customer who had played with it and found that the diamond shape was a little bit better. So that's what they've gone to, and that's what they've stayed with ever since. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, they may have started it with a diamond, went to a flat nose, and then came back to the diamond.
I think I've
that.
got both, to tell you the truth. I think I've got well,
You may.
What I thought was the original was the square one, and then they went to the diamond one, and I bought the diamond one. And in fact, I've still got a couple of the tools still with the plastic covering on because they haven't been used.
I took mine off this parting tool. I'd never used it. Yeah, I showed Ruby just before you came on. I had to take that plastic off because I never used that particular tool. In fact, some of these other cutters, the plastic end may be off of them, but it wasn't off of that parting tool. So anyway, there you have it, folks. It's been a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. It's always good to do something new and different. Got a couple other new and different things on the horizon. I won't even tell you about them because I don't want you saying, when are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? I'll get to it. I've got 3 or 4 pretty interesting pieces. A piece I've seen several people do that I've just never done. I'll give you a hint. It's about like cutting these, but on a different scale. that tells you anything. Uh, several people I've seen do that. A different take on a top. Um, and then there's some other pieces. I've been, as I scour the internet, find new and interesting pieces. I've been drawing a lot, giving myself some basic instructions, those kinds of things. So I've got about 6 or 7 pages on a legal pad at this point, and that pad stays right with me as I'm watching all these YouTubes. So whether they're good turners or not, if they've got a good project, I'll draw the project up. So anyway,
It's where the idea comes from. That's what it is.
absolutely, absolutely. I'm not that imaginative, but I can take other people's ideas and put my own twist on it.
Yeah,
Ronald did.
okay, I haven't turned for a while, as everyone knows. But for a lot of my ideas, especially when it comes to colouring, I watch a lot of art channels on YouTube. And that's where I get my ideas from.
Absolutely, absolutely. There's a lot of fun stuff. Just have to watch with a discerning eye,
Yes.
so that you don't pick up some bad mistakes. That can happen so easily. Well, I'm going to knock this one in the head and say good night, everybody. And I'll let
Good
my
night,
friends all
everybody.
say good night. And
Night.
if the creek don't rise too high, we'll see you next week, if not before. So bye bye, everybody.
Bye,
Good
everybody.
night.
Have a great week.
Bye.